Man, the past two episodes of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, is it just me, or did episode 19 and 20 truly feel like and give that feel of, man, it feels like I'm watching Naruto again? Now, the previous 18 episodes of Boruto, it's had its ups and downs, it's had some cool stuff, it's had some kind of boring stuff, it's had a lot of slice of life stuff. It wasn't until 19, minus the Sumide stuff, but the Sumide stuff, let's be honest, in the end it was kind of lackluster, but it wasn't until episode 19 where it truly gave that feel again of like, yo, this is the Naruto that I used to watch. This is that feel. And again, a big part of it is due to the fact that this is an adaptation of Masashi Kishimoto's original manga work. He did, of course, if you've been following, the Naruto Gaiden manga. It was a 10-chapter manga. And I honestly don't expect this to be even that long of an adaptation. Maybe like 4 or 5 episodes. Because like they've been breezing through the content like no tomorrow between episodes 19 and 20. And yo, I ain't gonna lie, episodes 19 and 20, I would honestly argue 19 had a lot of it, but 20 had some of it too. It just gave an emotional roller coaster. Like 1 minute, I'm kind of there on the verge of tears. Next minute, I'm laughing. Next minute, I'm curious. If it wasn't for the fact that I had read, the manga and I know what's going on, the amount of mystery right now would be killing me. Because I remember when I was doing these reviews for the manga chapters when they were coming out, the suspense was killing me. And now it's like, yeah, I know what's going on, but I'd imagine people that didn't read the manga and don't know what's about to happen are like, yo, what's going on? In a nutshell, episode 19, Sarada dives into questioning, well, who am I? Where, are these really my parents? Because, she's been wondering about Sasuke and why he never comes back. And I ain't gonna lie, between the two episodes, one of my favorite moments, period, was episode 19. When Sarada was questioning Sakura and she breaks down crying and she's like, yo, y'all been apart for so long. What is going on? That hit me. That really hit me. I'm not gonna lie. That shit had me like, oh, because it really is sad. And I think it gives two perspectives. I think it obviously gives in-universe perspective of like, hey, this little girl, she's questioning life. Her father's never around, but, Choji is around for Chocho. And even though he's not really around for Boruto, Naruto's around the village for Boruto. Why isn't Sasuke nowhere in sight? You know what I'm saying? So it brings up that question. But I think it also brings up for the audience, the audience looking in saying, well, it is pretty fucking weird. Sasuke's never around at all. Like, he's not with Sakura. He's never seen Sarada. So it brings up two different scenarios and two different things that is going to make you think, like, yeah, it is kind of interesting. Like, why isn't he around? What's going on with her? I will say the glasses thing and the blurry eyes kind of makes me like, because you're an Uchiha at the end of the day. Now, granted, maybe they're playing it up the fact that, well, her eyes aren't all that good, but she's also on the verge of unlocking Sharingan, which I believe, if it's not 19, I want to say it's 20. I think it's actually 20 when she's just about to approach Sasuke in that layer that he's in, that little tower or whatever. Like, so you could argue that that's why they were really playing it up, that her eyes were getting blurry, even though I don't remember ever hearing about, like, an Uchiha, their eyes getting blurry before unlocking normal Sharingan. I know when they were doing the transplant, like, your eyes start to lose sight or whatever, so a little bit different there. But either way, the way Sarada got the Sharingan is like, it wasn't the most emotional thing, because we've seen like how Sasuke unlocked Sharingan very dark times. His brother fucking assassinated his whole village and his whole clan and shit like that. So a little bit different there, where Sarada is just like, I'm finally gonna meet the person that I've been wanting to meet my whole life, my father. So a little bit different circumstances, and I guess you could argue, hey, she's a lot younger, she hasn't had much trauma, so something like that is very big to her. So you could argue that there. Diving into the Uchiha clan and the Uchiha history, honestly, it's Masashi Kishimoto's writing, where it's just a Uchiha bonanza between seeing Sasuke with the Sharingan and the Rinnegan, and seeing Shin Uchiha, that new little fucking vegetable looking motherfucker, for Sarada with the Sharingan. Is like, it's a Sharingan bonanza. Even seen that one motherfucker that looks like he's fresh out of Star Wars or some shit. Like, Masashi Kishimoto loves him some Sharingans and some Uchiha. So yeah, these episodes have his name written all over. It's like Uchiha, Uchiha, Uchiha. Now, Shin Uchiha, we had that fight in episode 20, and I'm gonna lie, it was nice to see Naruto kind of throw down a little bit, because I mean, up until this point, right, what, the Sumide stuff, he was just about to go in and they said, no, it's gonna drain your chakra, so we really haven't had an opportunity to see Naruto go in. And I think something that Boruto as a whole, of everything we've seen up until now, between, you know, the movie, the manga, pretty much the one special that we had about Mitsuki and shit like that, we really haven't got much Kurama. So it was nice to get a little bit of Kurama, even though it was just a couple lines of dialogue, and it's like, yo, we're about to go in, and right there, that comment, and, you know, Naruto just kind of beating the shit out of Shin before he bounced or whatever, also raises a question that I know people are going to argue, because they argued it before, and I'm sure they're arguing it now. What is Naruto's current strength? Because, you know, people say at the end of the war, that was his peak. He had the 6 paths power, he had the spears all around him, he was levitating. Naruto's rusty now. Does he even match up to that, or could he have potentially gone beyond? I always look at it as, yo, it's been many years, he's had a lot more experience, he's a lot older and wiser. I would assume that he's stronger. That's just me, but maybe, who knows, maybe he was stronger back then, which kind of would make him almost like a Gohan. Like, yo, you were stronger as a kid than you are as an adult, what the fuck? Although Mystic changed that, so who knows, maybe there's some more development for Naruto. And I guess going back into the conversation of Kurama real quick, I think one of the big deals of why Kurama isn't, you know, established, or not necessarily even established, but a big deal, and we don't get much from him, because you got to remember, in the Boruto world, in the Boruto story, this is a story about Boruto. Kurama is a pivotal part and a pivotal element of Naruto's story, his development, his journey, his trials and tribulations. But it's not about Naruto anymore, so maybe that's the answer to my question right there about why we get very little to no Kurama time, because it's not about Naruto anymore, as much as we don't want to admit it, because, you know, we kind of grew up on and we've been with this story for so long, and it's always been like, hey, this is Naruto's story. It's not, it's Boruto's story. So kind of interesting thing there, although, well, you say it's, you know, Boruto's story, but at the same time, by episode 20, it's kind of like he's not even really involved, and it's more about Sarada. And I think that that's something that these episodes did real well as well, is focusing in on Sarada. It made her so much more of a likable character. It made her so much more, not, you know, to a crazy degree or whatever, but a little bit more complex and deep than she's been previously established. And it's not that, hey, it's only because she's getting her own screen time. They had an episode, you know, Studio Period tried with their own Sarada episode, the stuffed animal episode, and it was dog shit and didn't do anything for Sarada. This episode, however, you know, or these episodes 19 and 20, it blew open her character. It blew open getting to know more about her and what she really wants and what she really thinks. And honestly, after this, I think Sarada is a likable, or more likable character than she was before. I didn't really care for Sarada that much throughout the Boruto anime. In the movie, I liked her. Some of the specials, I liked her or whatever, but the anime didn't really do her much justice until now, and I think Sarada Gaiden is doing an amazing job so far with 19 and 20. It's just knocking it out the park between the conversations she had with Sakura, although it always struck me as odd. I remember with the manga it struck me as odd, and with the anime it struck me odd too. When the fuck was Sakura this big fainter? I don't remember her like constantly fainting through childhood or whatever. Like once or twice it happened, but I don't remember it being a big thing of Sakura fainting. Like the only time I could think of, and maybe I'm even misremembering, was in the Chunin exam. She fainted at one given point, unless I'm mistaken, I don't know, but like, aside from that, I don't really remember her being a big fainter, so I don't know if that was just a insertion there to explain why the fuck she randomly fainted, although it was kind of for comedic purposes, because it's like, the loan, and she fainted, but, you know, Sarada, of course, that's going to take more on her shoulders. It's like, I made my mom faint because I was pushing forth this issue about, are you even really my mom? Is this even really my family? What the fuck is going on? So, interesting stuff there. Episode 20, though, I mean, 19, if it gave you more emotion, 20 gave you some emotion and way more action. Naruto going to Biju mode, fucking up that Shin guy, more of the mystery of Shin and who seemingly is his father with the cloak and stuff like that. I would say something that I said with the manga reviews, and that's that one of the characters that they're supposed to be comedic relief, and I think maybe the anime is doing a slightly better job with it, but I still don't really care for the character. Chocho, don't really care. She breaks a lot of the really intense moments with, you know, I mean, my favorite Chocho moment throughout these 2 episodes was when she actually tried to pound Shin, and when her and Sarada were teaming up against Shin. So that was an okay Chocho moment, but I still don't really care for Chocho in this. It's like, this is Sarada's time, and she's kind of just messing it up with a lot of her nonsensical humor. And she also made a couple awkward moments, like when she tells Naruto, "Are you my father?" It's like, Naruto, because, you know, we know him as being this childlike guy and shit, so for him to be in that situation, it's like, the fuck you mean? Like, yo, I'd imagine he was thinking, yeah, your mom beat my ass and pounded me into the ground, but I ain't pound that shit, bro. Like, Choji's your father. I paid child support. What you talking about? So some funny stuff there, I guess, but it did feel awkward, I ain't gonna lie. And then, of course, the end of 20, amazing cliffhanger. Like, I gotta say this, and it's not because Kishimoto wrote it, it's just the reality. It feels like 19 and 20 is some of the best, if not the best stuff with the Boruto anime so far. Like, that cliffhanger of Sarada there, like, "Papa!" and motherfucking Sasuke pulls out the sword. I'm like, shit just got real. Really curious what you guys think though about episodes 19 and 20 of Boruto. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you get them feels? I don't understand how anybody can hate it, honestly. Like, it really hit me in the feels with a lot of Sarada moments, which up until this point in the Boruto anime, I didn't feel they established her very well. I didn't really feel like I cared about her. These two episodes really made me actually, like, it hit at the emotions, it hit at the feels, which is something that I would argue that as a shonen anime and a shonen manga, Naruto is one of the best to constantly hit you at the feels, and almost every time it executes it very well, to the point where it's like, I feel like crying, bro. What's going on here? What do you think about Naruto versus Shin? Do you think Naruto is weaker now or stronger than he was at the end of the manga? And what do you think about the encounter between Sarada and Sasuke at the end of episode 20? How did you feel about that? And if you're an anime-only viewer, you never read the Naruto Gaiden manga, what do you think is the mystery of this Shin Uchiha and this hooded motherfucker? Are these survivors of the Uchiha clan or something totally different? He overall thoughts of episodes 19 and 20. Honestly, I'm absolutely loving them. I feel as though Boruto, it makes me wish that Masashi Kishimoto was still writing Naruto with these two episodes. That's how much and how strongly I feel about them. It's like, man, if Kishimoto was still writing, we'd have some amazing stuff like this from time to time. It's a shame he doesn't. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.